I am putting every 2024 NASCAR Cup Series paint scheme released so far on a tier list, or as I call it, the Groovy Grid. The top tier, G, stands for Groovy, reserved for the best schemes I've seen so far, such as Ross Chastain's Busch Light design. I've always liked the classic blue or sometimes silver look on Kevin Harvick's cars over the year, but now that Busch has moved over to Trackhouse, they've reinvented their image and it looks as stunning as ever. Groovy. Next is the Job Well Done category for schemes that don't quite break into that groovy tier, but are still very good and in most cases are pushing the boundaries in some respect, like Alex Bowman's new Ally scheme. Personally, I'm a fan of the digital look. Maybe it's because I've grown up in the digital age. I like the spatterings of blue throughout, really great colors, well executed. My third category is reserved for schemes that more or less get the job done. I'll use Chase Briscoe's Mahindra car for an example. Now, for the most part, I'm going to stay away from schemes that are very similar to last year's, but I wanted to use this car as an example because it looks good, but it's not gripping me. It doesn't really have me feeling strongly one way or another. Unlike the paint schemes in my next category where there's at least one element of the design that just throws me off. The yellow looks nice on its own and the dark electric lightning bolts look pretty cool, but trying to mash these two together, this looks like something Sid from Toy Story would design. You know how he'd like rip the head off of a pterodactyl toy and put it on the body of a Barbie doll? You know, actually when I put it like that, this is kind of cool, but no. There's still something about this design that bugs me. And my final category is reserved for schemes that just don't do it for me. It's like Lumar saw all the praise their Darlington throwback received, but couldn't keep their hubris from getting in the way, and now we have this teal door number on a bright red car. I don't like it. Maybe some of y'all do. Underwhelming to me. I'm not a fan. Hopefully that gives you an idea of kind of how my Groovy Grid is going to work. Let's get into this because we've got dozens more paint schemes to react to. Job well done once again at Trackhouse. The front of this car looks great. The sharp design on the side, the warm color choices. My only concern is the sponsor logo could get a bit blown out. But from the grandstands, this car is going to look like a fireball racing around the track. Good start. I don't fault the designer for this one at all. In fact, I love the tire tread going across the door there and the painted side skirts. Is that a change for Toyota? Teal and Big Bird yellow. I don't know, it just feels straight out of a kid's show from the 90s. Not really for me. Contrary to popular belief, sometimes I do like simple paint schemes. Chase Elliott's Clash at the Coliseum design looked so clean. Job well done. Though, if I were them, I would have committed to the almost monochromatic motif. I would have made the Napa logo on the hood just blue as well. No yellow anywhere, just blue and white. I don't know. I think that would have looked sharp, really driven the point home. This might make me a hypocrite. I love the black and yellow, of course, but I'm not a huge fan of the old dude putting his face on the hood, which I know I can't really talk because I put my face on the hood of a race car once. But hey, at least I wasn't shirtless. I also don't look nearly that good. Dang. Pretty simple design, but I like that between this paint scheme and a couple others, RFK is really beginning to establish their own brand, their own identity. So yeah, job well done. Good use of motion blur on the door of this one. Makes it look even faster than it already is. Here's a great example of a paint scheme that just works. It's bright, it's colorful, big sponsor logo on the hood, on the door. Makes me wish it was summer. Mission accomplished. It's doing everything this paint scheme should be doing. This one is just missing a lot. You're sponsored by Margaritaville. Can we get some more color, some pizzazz? The blue is pretty, but I just need more. Ooh, the chrome door number caught me by surprise. Not everyone will be a fan of that orange. I kind of like it. Job well done, Stuart Haas Racing. Whoa! Nearly forgot about this one. Yeah, we may have an early front runner for paint scheme of the year. Groovy tier. I'm a big fan of black door numbers. Go back to when Matt Kenseth was in the 17. Those black on yellow schemes, were beautiful. The splash of red, the Pegasus on the door. Look, they even carved out a little white canvas for Ream on the side. Everything is seamless. Everything is intentional. If only Christopher Bell could have made the race last weekend. Oh, yes, that's right. This exists. I don't hate it, but all the jokes about this looking like an old preseason Thunder test car are accurate. I'm a big fan of the black and yellow red Rush Truck Center schemes of the past. To go from that to this kind of flat gray, it's jarring. It is the definition, in my opinion, of underwhelming. Woo, another good-looking Bass Pro Shop scheme. A lot of Dayglow orange, red. What color is that? I don't know. I don't care. All I know is it looks good. Job well done. This one works, the iconic blue and yellow Walmart colors. Wish the logo on the hood especially was a bit bigger. Looks good though, just maybe a bit empty, I suppose, especially compared to the busy Bass Pro scheme we just looked at. I just feel like you could do more with the Cheerios brand. We have seen more done with the Cheerios brand in this sport. A flat yellow scheme, I need more. Something's missing. This one hurts. My 2023 scheme of the year was a Columbia sponsored car. To go from the flashy pink and blue 90s flare from North Wilkesboro last May to this, the gold 23 on the door is nice, but it's underwhelming. This one has grown on me quite a bit over the past couple of weeks. When I first saw it, I wasn't sold, and there is still a lot of blank white space on the door I'm not a huge fan of. But I'm putting this scheme in Groovy tier. The front of this car makes great use of the new Toyota Camry front end, and maybe not everyone agrees, but I really like how the 11 on the door is sort of framed by the black and red gradient. I don't know if there's a technical term for this design choice, but the white border around the left and right front wheel well there looks really clean to me. Logano's scheme, Pennzoil scheme, I think has it as well, but like with maybe some red. I could be wrong. I'm a big fan of it on the 22. I'm a really big fan of it on this 11 car. I'm putting the Sport Clips Camry in Groovy tier. What can I say? That one might be controversial. This scheme, it works, gets the job done. Is this the same BetMGM scheme he ran last year? Honestly, I don't remember. Maybe this accidentally snuck in here. Let's talk about Legacy Motor Club's dollar store double. Their products might be cheap, but these paint schemes sure are not. Job well done on the Dollar Tree scheme. I especially like the bright green on the nose. And the Family Dollar colors, man, I was this close to putting this car in Groovy tier, but I'll slot it into the green category right alongside his teammate. I like how the red kind of rounds off the hood, really frames that front and center Family Dollar logo nicely. And hey, whoa, this is back-to-back Legacy Motor Club cars where the roof number actually matches the rest of the paint scheme. Whoa, I hope this is a trend going forward. Next up, the Jordan car. Yeah. I might sneak this one up into Groovy tier. Not everyone loves the sneaker style schemes, including me. There's some schemes they've run in the past that didn't quite work on a race car, at least in my opinion. This one does. That, what do they call it? I'm going to sound so old. I'm going to call it the Dalmatian pattern. Yeah, with the red decaling, I'm getting Cruella DeVille vibes from this thing. Hey, she's mean. The car looks mean. Groovy tier. Oh, and speaking of mean, yeah, this car looks fierce. I can't put it in Groovy tier though because the little red dot ream logo on the door, all that empty sponsor space, it throws me off a bit. But the white stripes look literally very sharp, very aerodynamic. I like the white roof as well, and the nose on this car. It works so well with that new Camry design. It makes it a lot less jarring, honestly. More palatable, perhaps, than some of the other new Toyota designs have been. Like this one, for example, it works, but it's, to me at least, a bit more jarring. I also just realized I think this is the same paint scheme, more or less, that he ran last year, so it probably shouldn't even be on this list. Well, it is now. Let's get to the remaining Hendrick Motorsports schemes. Oh gosh, something bugs me. Maybe a couple things bug me about this one. It feels like they took a decent concept for a scheme, hot white with some red flames, the Hendrick yellow numbers on the side, warm colors. They took that design and then just with a rubber stamp, put a big black A on the hood. Big black Axalta triangle on the door? I don't know what that's supposed to be. I'm not a fan of the Axalta logo. The sponsor logos look terrible. They do not match the rest of the design. This one's a lot better. This one, I give them a job well done. I'm especially excited to see it on track. I'm not sure, but if that silver, that gray, is more shiny, a glossy finish at least, then this car could really pop. But I've always been a fan of the Valvoline schemes. I like that they tried something different, something bold with this design. I can't say the same about this one. Look, I'm not a big fan of the mucus green color scheme. I get that some people are. What's with the dark black hammerhead, or I think I called it a unibrow in one of my recent videos? just feels so random, so out of place. It looks like Chick Hicks's mustache. You know how on that Mobil 1 scheme I said every like black and red and white stripe looked intentional? Every black stripe on this looks like an accident. Oh, well, hey now, maybe they've almost kind of redeemed themselves? At first glance, this reminds me of Noah Gregson's Baconator car from last year. It's good. I think it works. I'm going to say this paint scheme works. I don't like that the flames seem to stop at the hood. Like the door is a completely different shade of red than we see on the hood. That's a little jarring, but there's something here. This works. This one was bold and it's not terrible. Another Valvoline scheme here. This one looks a little more conventional. Red, white, and blue. Looks really good. Yeah, job well done once again. Like that Sport Clips car, there's a little white border around the front wheel well there. I don't know, if that becomes a trend, I'm all for it. I kind of like that. Maybe this is a hot take, but this is a great paint scheme. I've seen some Chase Elliott fans bash it, others say it's fantastic. It's very blue, but I appreciate the simplicity of it. I think the balance between blue, yellow, and white is fairly even. Maybe I would have thrown a tiny bit more yellow like on the nose, but honestly that might not change anything. I just think this is a very good scheme and it's different than what we've seen from Chase Elliott the past few years. Ooh, this one could be in the running for Scheme of the Year, but I have to see it on track. I'm putting it in Groovy tier for now, but this is just a render. I have to see it under the lights. How does that orange shine? If it's flat, if it's muted at all, ooh, I might have to bump this down a category. But if it's as bright, reflective, eye-catching as I believe it can be, as this render seems to indicate, whew, the Night Owl is about to fly higher than it ever has before. Good looking scheme. This paint scheme's not bad. It's just underwhelming. I'm kind of tired of the Hunt Brothers pizza cars. They're always just a plain color with that square logo on the side, on the hood. It's pizza. Can we do something a little more? Pizza's like my favorite thing in the entire world. You know how much fun we could have with a pizza-sponsored race car? Hunt Brothers Pizza seems to hate fun. That's all I can say. Oh, this one is red hot. Yeah, it works. Gets the job done, no doubt. Just got a few left. I'm not really sure where I'm going to squeeze them all into my Groovy grid here. Yeah, Celsius looks pretty good. I like the orange kind of angled in on the nose. Some black in there as well, but I always like when they angle in. I've just something about it. It just looks fast to me. Solid looking scheme. It works. This is another paint scheme that has grown on me quite a bit. When we first saw this design on track at Phoenix back in December, they didn't have that thin black and copper line on the nose. And it was very distracting. Like my eyes immediately went to that weird blank space. It just didn't look right. But now that they've made that simple addition, I can focus on the rest of the scheme. And I think it looks really, really good. I don't know this quite sneaks into Groovy tier, but I think job well done is a solid category for it. I like this one. These colors have never been my favorite, but the Moose Fraternity scheme has become an iconic Ross Chastain staple. It works. This gets the job done. Looks really good. Oh, we don't really have a great rendering or look at this scheme yet. It works. I'm not sure I love the bright blue and bright green. It feels kind of like an early 2000s arcade. Again, though, when I say it like that, it actually sounds kind of cool. I'll have to wait until I see this one on track because the rendering, the clip we've seen, it's hard to really judge. Groovy tier for this one. I know technically it's a throwback scheme, I suppose, to Richard Petty, 1964. I just noticed, are the hubs, are the wheels blue? Ooh, I don't know if that'll make it onto the track. We'll see, I suppose. The Petty blue is gorgeous. The little details like on the front, the little gray, you can see it on the hood. They've added the horsepower, Jimmy's name on the door. Like the details are nice, but the color just... There's a reason this color is so iconic, decade after decade after decade. Richard Petty, the Petty family, they found the secret formula decades ago and few have been able to replicate it ever since. This color stands the test of time. Beautiful execution. Just got a few spaces left. A new look for Solomon Plumbing. Again, another good looking RFK Ford. I mean, yeah, I'll put this in job well done. Ooh, similar colors here on Josh Berry's Harrison's Ford. It looks pretty good. The green, though, I don't know, a little flat for me. It works. This is all just my personal preference. Josh Williams' car from the Clash, he looks pretty great as well. It works. Same with this one. I don't have a strong opinion. I don't know if I like this Build Submarines car quite as much as the Solomon Plumbing, so maybe I'll put this one just a tier below it, but another decent looking scheme. We'll see with RFK this year. Just got a couple more. Ooh, Generator on Todd Gillen. This looks pretty nice. I really like that lightning bolt on the hood. There's no words other than like right there on the nose, but just big bolts. Pretty cool. Lastly, we'll wrap up with Zane Smith's WeatherTech scheme. Bold of them to put a giant W on the hood before this guy's ever won a cup race. I kind of like the cockiness. I really like the red and blue stripe, especially the way they come down onto the front underneath the headlights. That front view, especially there in the lower left, looks so nice to me. I might put this one in Groovy tier. I don't know why. Maybe it's the chrome red 71 that's putting it over the edge for me. I can just see this car in the draft at Daytona standing out. It's a white scheme primarily, but I could see anyone from anywhere in the grandstands immediately picking this out of the pack. And that's, to me, that is a good quality for a paint scheme to have. I want to end this video on a high note, so why not? WeatherTech, Zane Smith, you guys can have Groovy tier this time around. That, I believe, is going to do it. Again, I was trying to avoid repeat paint schemes from previous years. I hope I didn't miss any. I tried to scour the internet, turn over every stone. It's been a long off season, guys, so I apologize if I missed one that you wanted me to talk about, but here you go. My Groovy grid for paint schemes heading into the 2024 season. I can't wait for even more designs to be included later in the year. That's gonna do it for this episode, y'all. Let me know down in the comment section below if you agree with any of my placements, if you strongly disagree. Art, of course, is subjective. This is meant to be fun. Everyone has different tastes. Everyone has different ideas of what makes a race car pop, look good on the racetrack. So hopefully we can have some fun with this video. I'll catch you again very, very soon. See you in the next episode.